Hey, who's coming fishing with me? Hello, my name's Stephen, and this is Faith Ministries. So it's time to go fishing. In John chapter 21, we read the account of 7 of the disciples thinking, well, it's time to get out of Jerusalem, time to do some fishing. Let's just pick it up here in verse 1. After this, Jesus revealed himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. He revealed himself this way: Simon Peter, Thomas, called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, sons of Zebedee, 2 more of his disciples were together. Simon Peter said to them, "I'm going fishing." And they said to him, "We'll go with you." They went out and immediately entered the boat. But that night they caught nothing. When the morning came, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. And Jesus said to them, "Children, do you have any fish?" They answered him, "No." He said to them, "Throw the net on the right side of the boat, and you'll find some." And so they threw it, and now they were not able to draw it in because of the abundance of fish. And then a disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." And when Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his outer garment, for he had taken it off, and jumped into the sea. And the other disciples came in the little boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they were not far from land, but about 300 feet away. When they came to the land, they saw a charcoal fire there with fish lying upon it and bread. And Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish which you have just caught." And Simon Peter went up and dragged the net full of 153 large fish to land. Although there were so many, the net was not torn. 153 fish. That's pretty specific, isn't it? 153 fish. They counted, they took the time to count them as they took them out of the net, and they remembered how many there were when they wrote the Gospel of John. If you do some simple online research on about the 153 fish, you'll discover there's a huge number of discussions and articles and sermons, etc., and thoughts written as to its meaning and what is the significance of 153 fish. Some say that it's, just a number. Any old number would have done, 250, whatever. While others connect the event to actually prophecies in the Old Testament. Now, we're not going to go there today. We're not going to have a look at the prophecies. If you want to look them up, you can do a search yourself online. But in this video, I just want to throw out there, as in throwing the line out for a hook and a line that's catching a fish, to show you some intriguing tidbits about the 153 fish. Firstly, this is a very simple one. According to some lists on the internet, of largest countries in the world by area, Israel is 153rd in size. Interesting, isn't it? The miraculous catch of fish in the Sea of Tiberias, in which it takes place after the resurrection of Jesus. And it includes some interesting or intriguing number puzzles. I like numbers. Why was the precise number of the catch mentioned in the account? I don't think God just throws numbers or words around anyhow. He has a reason why they are there. Now, we all remember from school the Pythagoras theorem in geometry that states in a right-angled triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other 2 sides. Remember that? Okay. According to ancient tradition and stories that have been passed down, Pythagoras happened upon a group of fishermen hauling in a large catch of fish. And Pythagoras, he said, he predicts the actual number of the fish which was in the net. Then he commands the fishermen to set the fish free when the prediction proves correct. Guess what? The exact number of fish, even though not mentioned, it is assumed to be 153. Which according to Pythagoreans, which they have their own beliefs, but according to them, it was 153. It's a sacred number to them. why the Pythagoreans thought or considered 153 a sacred number can be appreciated by the following calculation. If we look at the number of days in a solar year, in other words, the number of times it takes the time for the Earth to go around the sun, it's approximately 365.2422 days. The number of days in a lunar cycle, as in the number of days for the moon to go around the Earth, is 29.53059 approximately. Now, if you divide the days in the solar year by the days in the lunar year, you end up with 12.368. The square root of 153 is 12.369. Very close, 1/1000th difference. Okay, next, if we have a look at the miraculous catch of the 153 fish, it was the fourth appearance that we have in the Gospels of the resurrected Jesus. His first appearance was to Mary Magdalene in John 20, verse 18. And in the original Greek, Mary's name is written as Mary the Magdalene, where Magdalene means a woman from Magdala. And if you have a look at the actual Greek words for the Magdalene, this word or expression in the Greek has a numerical value of, you guessed it, 153. Now, getting back to high school geometry and algebra, etc., remember what pi was. Pi is the mathematical constant approximately equal to 3.14159, etc., 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 defined in Euclidean geometry as the ratio of the circle's circumference to its diameter. Its value is never ends. It just goes on and on and on. And if you have a big computer, it can calculate up to millions and millions of numbers after the decimal point, but we won't go there today. But people have actually found correlations between numbers in the Bible, the gematria, which is the adding up the values of Hebrew letters, to pi itself. But that's another message in itself. Now, for example, the 153rd word in the Hebrew Bible is the word good. And this has a gematria value of 17. The first appearance of the numbers 153 in a calculation of 3 times pi, it begins at position 17. Okay, after the decimal point. It has a mathematical order which speaks of perfect detail of God's message of salvation and mercy. You know, St. Augustine, he must have been a bit of a mathematician himself. He was the first to notice that if you go 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15 plus 16 plus 17 equals 153. It is thought that Jesus appeared in the Galilee, there at the Lake of Tiberias, on the 17th day, there's that number 17 again, after the counting of Omer, which was the Jewish people did between Passover and Pentecost. Adding up 17 consecutive days, as we just did then, comes to 153, the exact number of fish that Peter and his guys caught. Now, the Torah, which is the Old Testament reading that the Jewish people did, the rabbis did, the Torah reading for the 17th day, it proclaims mercy, love, and glory. Now, if you read the account there, you know that Jesus shows mercy, forgiveness, and love to Peter and to John. The letters of the Hebrew word fish add up to 153. Jesus told his disciples he would make them fishers of men. In the expression, I am the Lord your God, written in Hebrew, the gematria value is 153. Now, what about this one? In Luke chapter 5, verse 6, it is where the fish are caught when the first time Jesus meets Peter or Simon in the lake. And it is the 25,114th verse in the Bible. Now, the passage we just read, John 21:11, with 153 fish, it is the 26,910 verse. If you subtract those numbers, you end up with 1,796 verses. There are 796 verses between them. And if you look up in the Strong's Dictionary, H1796 in the Hebrew Bible is the word wave. Water, wave. Interesting, eh? So finally, just to wrap it up, here's a couple of other little ones that are intriguing. John 1:12 says that as many as received him, to them he gave the power to become sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. If you write out the scripture in Hebrew, I believe, I haven't done it, but I believe it's correct, the sons of God in Hebrew comes to 153. In the Old Testament, the Hebrew word for Passover, the Pesach, has a gematria value also of 153. So there you have it. 153 fish. There's a lot of different tidbits and interesting little facts that you can come across that relate to scriptures and relate to the nature itself and what's going on around us. There's a reason it was in there. And if you're interested, you can go online and you can find out more information yourself about why were there 153 fish in the boat at that time. I believe there is a correlation between that event and what's happened through the Bible and the different meanings of different words and the gematria, the value of the adding up numbers, etc., like that. So I hope you found that intriguing and interesting, something different. And until next time, God bless.